Allegiance. Good. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. You want to do a roll call for us?
Supervisor Alberico.
Here.
Yes.
Trustee Michael Lewandowski.
Here.
Trustee Dean Morelli.
Here.
Highway Commissioner John Slinsky.
Here.
Collector Lance McCullough.
Here.
And then we got Assessor Deputy Mason absent, Clerk Denise Rumchuk, and Trustees Barbara Boyce and John Boxich.
All right, let the minutes indicate that now we have Mr. Spooner.
And Greg Spooner.
Recording again. All right, that being said, we're going to start out with citizens wishing to address the board. I don't see any citizens unless Grant wants something to say. Other than that, we'll go right into the tax levies. John, do you want to, we'll take yours first?
Doesn't matter. Basically, I am asking for the same amount as we did last year. Haven't made any changes.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on how this works, or if they, basically you're going to drop your tax rate to what it was last year?
Yeah.
As opposed to 5%?
Well, it's not really, I'm not dropping the tax rate, am I? I'm just levying the same amount of dollars, so the increase is zero.
Well, you're levying.
Well, it will drop the tax rate.
Yes, what the projected numbers indicate is that you're levying for the same amount that got extended last year.
Correct.
So you're actually levying less. Because last year you asked for more,
correct,
but you only got what you got.
Right.
So now you're asking for
right,
what you got
last
year. So it'll produce the same dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
And if the values of property go up, it'll lower the rate.
Right. That's what happened. Actually, I think my rate lowered last year because all the
That's exactly what happened last year.
increases.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Lowered the rate, but then the dollars stayed the same. Is that what
Yes. There's a larger value to produce the same amount of dollars. It's just a multiplication function.
Right.
All right, everybody good with that for the highway?
So no tax increase for the highway?
No, we've been saving enough money, and my programs are starting to kick in with the upgrading equipment.
Congratulations, great job.
Things are going well, so
All right.
we'll see how it goes.
Nobody has any questions? Okay, then we'll move on to our tax levy for the town fund. And it's a town fund, senior fund, and the GA fund. And basically, the one in your packet, it was the one that the county sends out all the time with the 5% increase. I had Dave prepare us an alternate one also with no tax increase, and I think that's the way we're going to go also, with no, just levy the same thing we got last year, basically. Is everybody okay with that, or do you want
Is it ordinance number 2016 XX? Or
Well, we don't have an ordinance number on there. I'll give it to Denise. If this is the one we're going to go with, I'll give it to Denise to put a number on it for the meeting Monday. We will actually, this is just a discussion as to what we want to do. Monday we will, at the meeting, we will formally adopt these levies.
So there's two different ones, right?
Right,
the
yeah.
one with the -8 and then the one that's blank. And we're gonna propose the one that's blank.
The one with the 5%, the bottom number is $1,879,568.
Right.
The one I was proposing with no tax rate increase would be where's my number here?
1790.60.
Yeah, 1790.60.
Right.
So not this one, okay.
If I may, if I could play devil's advocate for a second, you know, for John and Ron both, with them seeing how no additional monies are coming in, I mean, and taking effect of, obviously with the highway, salt costs, fuels costs could be on the rise real soon. You're very comfortable with?
Sure.
Okay. and Ron as well.
Yeah, I think.
With our
I'm
maybe
glad I have
additional
talked,
costs.
and that's why David's here to assure us that we do have enough in reserve, that we should be okay to pay for everything, and our taxes are.
Yeah.
No reason to.
The difference here, let's take John's for instance. It was less than 1%. So we're talking out of his $1.4 million, we're talking about $14,000. And after the cities get their share, we're talking maybe $8,000 or so. And in the case of the township, it was 1.7 million. So you're talking about $17,000. And that's not, $17,000, you're not going to miss $17,000.
Yeah, not a matter of missing, I'm talking about the rising costs of unexpected things and stuff like
Right,
that. We want to
right.
make sure that if you did have to reach out for something else, that we're okay before we miss.
Yeah.
Not that I want to raise taxes, it's
Right.
just, you're always looking at those future costs that are unexpected.
Yeah, well, the one thing about doing this is if you don't take the 5%, you never can get that 5% back. Once you give it up, you've given it up forever. So that's something to keep in mind.
That's not to say you can't ask for 5% next year if you run short, but
Right.
No.
I know what Dave's saying, then it's not compounding and that's money lost, but.
Absolutely.
Right, if you forego the
I just think if we're
14,000
comfortable
this
with our
year.
budgets and looking at budgets, there's unforeseen things that, especially in yours with fuel.
Yep.
If we're doing roads again, oil controls everything that we do with roads, and you just need to make sure that we're covered in case, that's all.
That's always an issue at the high school with the budget, so we always ask for
And
that.
I can't speak for John, but I feel confident in the town fund that we do have enough still in reserve after all we've done this last year, that we're okay. Should be okay.
I don't think there's too many taxing bodies that don't ask for the 105%, right?
You're right, yes.
Most
The
everybody
majority
nowadays.
they do, yes.
Right.
Some even do what they call black box, and they go for more, but you're only going to get, the CPI was 0.7%,
Right.
so that's what you're going to get, plus any new property, which you'd have to go over 60 million or so in order to see any
There's
difference.
a difference in that anyway.
Right. Because aren't we, 30 million difference with the assessment of the township, or no?
Well, the new property I'm talking about, last year I think the new property was only like 6 million.
No.
It was nowhere near 60 million.
But you might see a little bit of money come in if they go to that fourth number, right? I mean, we're talking pennies, or,
Well, yeah, they're supposed to start rounding it differently
fourth
to another decimal place, so that might
That's
change
real
it by
small.
nickels.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking, not
20 bucks.
negligible. Right, very negligible
Okay.
amounts, plus or minus.
yeah, right.
So we're not going to take, like I said, we're not voting here tonight anyway. This is just a workshop, so we understand what we're doing on Monday. Does anybody have any other questions on the town levy then? Everybody feel confident that this is what we'll go with then? Anybody else have any other questions? Before I let Dave leave, and I appreciate him coming, because
That was quick, Dave.
I know you have some other appointments you gotta get to, but I wanna satisfy everybody here.
Yeah, right, I don't want to leave if there's a question that anybody has about how this works.
I think you were pretty good about that last year, because we had some questions, so I had an understanding from that last year. I just always see the rise costs of construction, things that we see unforeseen, or
Right.
medical expense, anything, it's
You never
just,
know.
it always, listen, man, as a body, as a whole, I always see us trying to take the taxes very serious and keep them down for, our constituents, but on the same token, we have to make sure that we're able to function without going into debt as well, so that's always my concern, taking that lower end.
Mhm.
All right, well, thank you, Dave.
Mhm.
Appreciate you coming out
Yeah.
in this cold weather, and, tough to come in and out.
Thank
All
you.
right, well, enjoy the rest of the meeting.
All right.
Yeah, stay warm.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, enjoy.
Have a wonderful holiday.
Okay, yeah, well, good luck on the move.
All right, yeah. Okay, next on the agenda, I wanted to talk about a couple of things, actually a whole bunch of things that is going to be coming up on Monday's meeting. I just want to make sure everybody understands what every issue is that we're going to be discussing or passing on Monday. The first one is a memorandum of understanding between the Township and the Water Board. I did have the attorneys write this up. We had discussed at that lawsuit that the town fund did lend the water department $525,000 for the lawsuit. This is a memorandum of understanding that pretty much says that we're the water department is going to pay back the town fund at a rate of $5,000 per month. It does have some things in here. It does say the township, in consideration of the principal amount, as per above, has agreed to waive the outstanding interest due. So we're not going to charge them interest. I wanted to read that one part that says, basically, if the water department doesn't have the money, comes up short one month and the water main breaks or something like that, we don't have to take the $5,000. If there is excess money, we can pay more than $5,000. But I wanted this board to understand that and pass this memorandum, and we will also do it at the water board meeting, so both sides will understand what the deal is.
Is there anything for discussion?
Sure. Yeah, that's what tonight's all about.
I just had, and obviously it's not an answer or a question that you might be able to answer, but if in that suit, by a court of law, if we remained the same, why would we have to pay back?
Because we took it out of the town fund, and the lawsuit was basically out of the water. It was a judgment against the water department.
So it's because of the fund, it's not because
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
body.
Right. It's my understanding and my belief that the taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for the lawsuit.
I agree.
It's the water department that was in the pickle for the lawsuit, so the water department should pay.
That makes perfectly
Yeah.
good sense.
That's
It's
just my thought, and that's why I thought.
But as I said, they think we're one and the same, so it's
The
it's
courts
still.
did say that, that's what
Yeah.
their thought was.
Fair enough.
But, I still don't think it'd be fair to the town, to the taxpayers that,
Because we do utilize that. The people on the water board
Right.
utilize that, therefore,
Right.
they're responsible for it,
yeah.
even though we had nothing to do with it forever.
Well, anyway, this one, yeah.
Ron, did Dave have anything to do with this?
Dave Myers,
Right.
Mm.
Right.
on the writing of this,
Well, not the writing, but like the figures, like where we came up with 5,000.
no, that was pretty much a discussion between we have, how our money's been working, what we thought we could afford in the water department to pay back, so we wouldn't get ourselves in an issue with the water department.
No, I know. I just thought, because he does the audit every year.
Right.
He knows.
No, but he knew about this.
No, I know he knew,
okay,
and that's why I said, that's why I thought maybe it'd be a good idea just to have him look at it and see what number he came up with. Like, could we make it 10,000 and be safe still? I mean, and I know, like Lance always says, you never know what's
Well, this
gonna
basically,
happen.
the way this is written,
You know.
if a month comes and
Then we could pay extra.
we could pay the 10,000.
Yeah.
Then we could, that's why we'll have it as an
Mhm.
understanding.
Okay.
It's not a contract, it's a memorandum of
Mhm.
understanding that if there's a couple of months where we get ahead, we could pay $10,000, we could pay $100,000.
Right.
Where in a month it's
Well, I mean, obviously,
not good.
I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels. I mean, the quicker the better.
Right. yeah.
And I just, I know if you figure out, if it does stay at 5,000, what we're looking at
Yeah.
time-wise.
My thought is we're gonna pay it off as soon as possible, but
Right.
5,000 was a good safe number, so nobody
Okay.
gets into a
Now, who's gonna make the decision as far as like, okay, there's extra money in there? Is it gonna be the board's
each month,
decision?
yeah, I think it should be the water
Okay,
board
it's
each
not-
month. We'll bring it to the board, we'll do our financial report, and we can say, I think we could get away with doing
Okay.
this much for a month. It should
If
be.
it deals with money, it has to be a
Should
vote,
be a vote,
yeah.
Okay.
We'll put it on
I
the
just
agenda.
wondered,
Yeah.
because like I said, I know a lot of times,
Yeah.
Chris, if there's extra money, Larry would buy extra stuff and this and that.
No, this is gonna be a vote every month, we'll put it on the agenda, a vote, and we'll decide how much we can pay. But the $5,000 is a good, rough number to start with. I
Okay.
think it's a safe. So that's the, I wanna go ahead and pass it on this board, and then when we go into the water board meeting, we'll pass it there also. So both sides are, even though they're the same people, both boards do. So that's what I have on the agenda for Monday there. The next one is the travel ordinance. There's a new law we're all aware of that we have to do our per diems differently now, starting January 1st. And we have to adopt this ordinance basically, instead of doing a per diem, like when we go to TOI or out of town or any kind of business, we don't give you a flat rate. You turn in the receipts and we pay you for what you've spent. So nobody makes any money on this.
Ronnie is, obviously there's the election coming too, but for us, seeing how we're affected as of January, if something was to come up, and then also whatever happens after the election, is there, under this ordinance, something that they have set to the townships that we can abide by? And not just saying reimbursement, but what is fair, what is, are there 2 drinks per a dinner?
No drinks.
No drinks.
No
I
drinks.
understand. I'm just putting it out there, I understand. We need, it doesn't matter what we say, we wanted it right, so
Actually,
before we
this-
go on town and on.
This ordinance basically came from TOI.
This-
They sent it to us, and I sent it to our lawyer for review, and he just changed it from Blank Township to Lockport Township.
I think it would just be fair for
And
us.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It would be fair for us, and it would be fair for any future boards to make sure they know what they're getting themselves into before, an audit would come up and then something would be seen unacceptable, and then they were
Well,
just truly
the way I understand this ordinance is you go on a trip, like to Springfield, we bring our receipts back, we turn it into the board, and it's the board's decision whether or not we pay them.
They don't set like a number, and obviously I know why, what Lance is saying, if somebody goes out and buys a $100 meal, we're not gonna cover a $100 meal, right?
Well,
Is that what they're getting
that would
at?
be this board that would make that decision,
Sure.
And I think with this ordinance as well, you would think that there would be an auditing body sooner or later, and what is acceptable. So that's what I'm saying, and what all I'm asking for is there are some sets of guidelines behind this ordinance that we can follow in the first place, instead of guessing, we know right in the forefront.
Well, in the past, what was it, Ron?
Well, one
Like
100
so much per meal, or so
No, it
much
was a
per
flat
day?
rate. We
Flat
gave
rate
you
per day, or?
per day. It was 100 and, I want to say, don't quote me
Okay.
exactly on the number,
All right,
180.
so there was a flat rate.
Yeah,
And it was a per
$100,
day thing.
$180 a day, paid for your room and all your meals.
Okay.
And your, whatever you need.
So somebody comes in, with a $500 bill, obviously,
No, yeah.
It's
It's
I
up
mean,
to
so,
this
just so we know what we're looking at, if it was 180, they gotta be close to, or less than 180, right?
Right.
Okay, that's what we're gonna be looking at,
So
because
why
there's
we
nothing
couldn't-
in there
Well, why
that says
couldn't
the
we say
number.
we would reimburse somebody up to $180?
That's what I'm saying, why not have a number in there? Because, I mean,
Well-
if somebody does go over and spends 300, we say, hey, we're only covering 180, they're gonna,
And not just us, I mean, obviously, we're not gonna relay that
Everybody.
information to future boards, we're not gonna be here. If there was something in a guideline or something that's behind this ordinance to say.
I don't know.
Because I do understand one thing, auditing bodies change by the auditor. So what's acceptable to one is not acceptable to another. So, for us, whether we set something in stone, or if there's a guideline that we know before we go that we're setting a safety net, I think that would be beneficial.
Well, I don't know, I think the guideline, what was in the past, 180, if that was.
But I don't know if we
for
could put
years.
that in the ordinance.
I don't know.
legally.
I don't know.
think, we have to accept the ordinance that's written by
As
the
it's written.
state.
Okay, and that's,
So we have to pass it.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean, what's the average room, go out to Springfield, it's $125 a night for a room.
Well, it's usually, when you go to TOI, it's $95.
to give you a deal.
We get a deal, we have to do the $95 a room there, and then we get, money for meals. Now we'll have to, instead of just getting a flat rate,
Right,
we gotta get the receipts,
sure, right,
exclude the liquor
Mhm.
if you're drinking,
right,
and turn those receipts in,
okay,
and that's what we get reimbursed.
right.
And if we, I bring in my receipts from TOI, and they come to $140 a day, and yours comes to 150, yours comes to 110, and you come with $500, we're gonna question something.
Right.
And it's this board that has to do that questioning. So we audit ourselves, basically, is the way I understand it.
It should be easier if there was a limit.
A number, right?
Exactly.
The one
That's
is,
that's
But I mean,
exactly what I'm
6 years
saying.
from now,
You know,
who knows?
I think it's a good thing you're getting rid of the per diem, but on the same token,
But it's a state-
if there was just a
yeah.
guideline, I'm not talking about an ordinance, if there was a guideline that we can kind of follow, it's a safety net before you enter into that.
Sorry to interrupt you earlier, but the way I understand this new law, based on another government body that I work for, or not work for, but volunteer for, it looks like basically a mid-grade is basically what you have to look for. You can't travel first class, and you don't have to travel, baggage. So if you don't have to eat at McDonald's, but you can't eat the most expensive meal or the least expensive meal. They're giving you mid-grade, somewhere in between, where they understand that if you're going to Chicago and you're going to eat at a hotel. I mean, our superintendent gave us an example of he ordered for breakfast. He ordered a yogurt, a banana, and a fruit bowl, and it was like $25. You know what I mean? But in Springfield, that would be different. If you ate in Lockport for that type of meal, it would be a completely different thing. So based on the destination that you're going to, it would have to be a mid-grade. It wouldn't be the best, but you're not going to eat, boiled eggs, is what I'm saying.
And like I said, I think the auditing of this is done by this board.
Mhm.
We turn in the receipts and then comes to our meeting and say, I'm not paying that,
I could bring you a form that we fill. Is there one in the back? I didn't look at it yet.
This form back here, I think we put in, this is the form for seeking reimbursement. Yes. Thank you, yes.
By the mile.
Is that what it is?
Mile.
There's a standard rate that's
No,
posted
no.
every year. Or somebody's actually say, hey, we're only gonna pay, I think it's 55 cents a mile now.
Yeah.
Somebody say, we're only taking 134 or whatever.
But anyway, by law, we have to pass this by January 1st.
So it might be a good idea to read through this one so that everyone understands completely.
And attorney will be there. He's the one that wrote this up for us, basically. Well, TOI wrote it up, but I sent it to him for review, so he's aware of what it is, and he sent it back to me. So that's that one. The next one that we're gonna have to vote on Monday will be this resolution giving the deed of Lockport, the building here, to the city of Lockport, where Central Square will be ending as of December 31st. So we're done here, we have to give them the deed. Keys to the building, basically. So that's what this is about. So we all know.
Did the township originally pay for this?
Back in 1980, the building was in disarray, and the three entities, the township, city, and the park district, went for HUD funds and grants and got the building remodeled.
Okay, so the township taxpayers will not,
All three of us
okay,
went in
that makes sense.
together.
That makes sense.
Now, we've chose to leave to a new
We understand.
place, so.
Okay.
So that gives up the deed. I wanted you guys to understand what that.
I just wanted to make sure that the taxpayers weren't giving something away that they own.
Okay, this next one, the memorandum of understanding for financial between the Kankakee County Community Services of Will County and the Senior Service Center of Will County. We're not going to vote on this on Monday. I just wanted to bring this to your attention because there's going to be a lady that's going to come and speak to us on this. This basically is just the Meals on Wheels program. She wants to come, we've talked about having them move into our building at some point. She wants to, sell us her wares, tell us what it's about and what we're looking at. And I told her I'm not going to pass anything on Monday. We want to get into the building first and see what's going on before we give away anything. But they are interested, along with the food pantry, as to moving in there. And that's the idea was when we first originally put this building together, so we'll just have to get through it and see how we're gonna do it. But this is, you can read through there what they're looking to do if you want to. Like I said, I'm not gonna pass this resolution until I'll give it to Gary and let him look at it for the month, and maybe in January or February, we can start working towards moving them in there once we're in the building.
Are they currently renting space?
They're currently in the First Congressional Church in Lockport. I don't believe they rent, I mean, I think in the agreement it says there is no charge for rent over there.
Over there?
Yeah.
Food pantry you're talking about?
No,
the
Meals on Wheels.
Oh.
They're also in that. They're in the church.
Oh.
Meals on Wheels is out of the church.
Right,
Food pantry's in the building that the church owns.
right.
The church is selling the building, so they're
Yeah.
being,
I don't know.
may have to move. No dates, when they said this building might not sell for a year, who knows, we don't know, but if it sells, they're gonna have to get out of there. So I wanna be somewhat prepared if that's the direction we're gonna go, we have the idea of what we're gonna do. The Meals on Wheels program is done inside the church, downstairs, and they have a little banquet area. It fits about 100 people, maybe 50 people. Small room, they have a little kitchen down there. That's where they've been doing Meals on Wheels. They have had some issues with employments and who's running it, and they want to get out of there. There's some issues there, and they want to move into our place as soon as they can. I told them, slow down, because we have to have some breathing room, but we have talked about having them in there, so I'll let her come and talk to us. She wants to give her spiel to us, and we will listen, and we will talk about it, and maybe move on it next month or the month after or something, get a direction as to what we're gonna do there too.
So the food pantry, I understand that, what they do. What is exactly the meals?
Meals on Wheels program is basically a program that they heat up prepackaged meals, and they deliver it, home delivery, to residents, seniors that are homebound, can't get out, can't afford food, otherwise they're gonna sit there and starve. So they deliver meals every day to their house
By way of car?
by way of car, by
Is
volunteers.
it every day? I thought it was just.
Well, it's every day. When they've had some financial issues through the years, they've cut out Wednesdays. Remember, if you remember
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
we
yeah.
stepped up and paid for Wednesdays extra,
Yeah.
a bag lunch, they drop off on Tuesday, so we have some food on Wednesday. We're one of the only townships that we don't allow them to put any of our citizens on a waiting list. We pay to get them meals now. If one of our residents is in need of meals, they get it now. We've done that for years.
It's only our residents?
That's who we pay for, Lockport Township, yes.
But working out of the church, they're delivering outside of our township lines?
I think they just do the Lockport Township area. I'd have to check on that, but we pay, the bill we pay every month is just our Lockport Township residents.
Are either of these two entities paying rent now?
The food
I don't believe
pantry
so.
pays utilities
Pays
for
the
that
utilities,
building
that's right, yeah.
next door. They
Okay,
pay like
well-
the utilities and whatever else.
I think it would be fair that we would ask at least for that amount.
Yeah, that's what John and I are gonna try to hammer
At
out
least.
between the next, well, we meet, I believe Monday, 10 o'clock.
I went over there, kind of just looked at their operations.
Yes.
Try to get an idea.
Yeah, Jim called me and said you were there.
How
so
things are gonna fit, and,
What was your opinion on that?
well, the only thing I can see maybe run into a problem is basically like storage. Like they've got quite a bit of stock.
Did you go downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't go downstairs.
And, it might be able to, obviously, I don't know if this mailer, if they got somebody working on like some kind of space analysis or something where they're gonna have to set up these shelving units where, obviously utilize as much space as possible, because that's the only thing I think they're gonna run into a problem is,
Well,
have enough space.
Like I had said before to you, and I don't know if I had the opportunity with John, but my thought is, we have this space, that's the only space we have.
Well, right, that's what I
You
mean.
know, if
We
they
got so
can't
much
use it,
square
we can't
foot.
work it out.
You know, we got so much square foot
Yeah.
that if we're off,
And we're offering it to them.
Hopefully they can,
You know, we can't add that.
right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, I don't know, like I said, when you meet with him, that's something, obviously, that's gonna be the big issue, because, you know,
I
I
don't wanna
don't,
walk into a place and see boxes and hallways.
right,
Mhm.
right, I mean, they have,
And then you always have other issues that come along with food products that are,
well, they do have a freezer, they do
And-
have refrigerators, they do have, you know, I mean, and all that stuff, I know they're gonna provide.
you guys know what I'm saying, you, John?
Right.
Yeah.
Critters.
Right, but I think the space is a big thing. I know she said, like, on a Tuesday, they have like a open house where whoever wants to come in can come in, and then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are just certain families that come in for pickup, and they can get so many products. It's like walking through the grocery store, you know.
Right.
You get 2 of these, you get a couple of these, depending on how many people live in the residence and stuff. So, I mean, like I said, I think it, you know, possibly can be done, but,
Yeah.
you know,
We can only
we
give
got
what
it.
we give. Like
Right.
I said, you know,
What's the initial thought for space on that end?
on the south side of the building,
Where would the pantry be and where would the Meals on Wheels be?
it'd be on the south side of the building, and that whole side, everything that we didn't remodel yet, didn't do any work on. there's,
What is allocated for Meals on Wheels and what's allocated?
well, there's the kitchen there for the Meals on
Kitchen
Wheels.
would be the Meals on Wheels and that pantry. That's right, next to the kitchen, that little skinny pantry with the blue ceramic tile in it. That's what I tentatively thought would be a good fit for the pantry, or for the Meals on Wheels, and they looked at it. What's that?
And the rest,
The rest would be the pantry on the inside. And we'd have to talk about egress and entrance and how we do that, whether we would, I would like to see them put a door in, so everybody comes in from that south side, leaves from that south side, they go, so they don't have to come into the building, the rest of the
Yeah, that
building,
would-
there'd be in the
that
little
would, yeah.
area.
Is there a loading dock at that building?
But we'll hammer it out and see where we go from
Yeah,
there.
I mean, even on that southwest door, you know, the
That's
southwest,
the back door.
the back door, you know, if they came in, it wouldn't be like they were disturbing any of the
No.
offices or anything.
The other thing, and Jim's talked to me before, and I don't want to give away the farm yet, you know, there's that attic up in the back, that room in the back, he's talking to me about, can we use that as storage? I don't know what we're planning, you know, I'm not giving that away yet.
Yeah, let's go slow on this
You
one.
got this back corner.
You-
If
let's
you
go
want it,
slow.
it's yours. If you don't,
Yeah.
Let's go slow on this, because
Slow on
this,
it,
we can get ourselves into a fix if we move too fast.
Township offices.
Right.
But it is, I mean, obviously, the food pantry is a very, very important thing to this community. We do need to try to do something, if it's going to lose its space.
Right, right.
But anyway, we'll
Would
look
you,
at,
And I don't
would you
know if
say
they're looking
the
elsewhere.
food pantry has more space than what we have for them, or?
I'd say as of right now, like with their basement and that for sure.
They have more
But like I
now.
said, they've had things kind of scattered, you know. I don't know if you've ever been in there, when it was a Starbucks or anything, you know.
Yeah, I've been in there a couple
Um,
times.
You know, I think, you know, it can be done. Like I said, it's kind of like go over with this gym guy, get some kind of space analysis or utilization on how they're gonna have it set up and,
well, I've
you know, how you walk through.
given him a copy of the prints of the area that I, you know, suggested that we might be able to give him. It's up to him to
Right,
let me
right,
know what they're thinking.
right.
Like I said.
And I know they do have shelving, you know, I don't know if they're gonna be using the same shelving or if they're gonna come up with some different stuff or.
He's indicated to me that he's going to go for corporate grants and corporate money to get funding to do all this himself. I don't think it should cost us.
Right, right.
If things aren't getting down, things aren't going well, and 6 months later, we gotta put our foot down.
It's harder to do that.
It's not gonna look good, we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really do what we told them to, you know, so we gotta make sure it's spelled out, written down, and agreed. And
The township kicked out the food
I think
pantry.
we all got, because if you walk in here, we don't wanna see boxes in this hallway, you know, we don't wanna see it there.
Okay, anyway, we're not gonna have anything to do with the food pantry at the meeting. What we will be, we'll have that Julie, I can't think of her last name, it's,
It's Carco.
Carpo. Julie Carpo is gonna speak on behalf of the Meals on Wheels. The next thing I'm gonna try to get passed, I'm gonna ask you guys to approve is the late night. We do this every year for $250 at the high school to support the children over there, or their young adults, actually. We've done that every year. I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Do you want to offer them 500 or 250 is good?
We've always done 250.
Okay.
If somebody wants to do more than that, I mean, it's up to you guys to make the decision.
I have to abstain anyway.
You abstain. You're the boss.
Why'd you bring it up?
I just want
Is that your hint?
All right, the other, next issue, we have a request letter from Al McGowan, who used to be the superintendent of schools over at Lockport. He's asking to use our building for a seminar on 3 days, January 9th, January 23rd, and March 13th, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. He's going to come and look at the facility and make sure all he needs is chairs, and we have chairs and tables for him. So I think it'd be a good thing to do. It's our first test is using our building for what we're asking, giving it to the people. So he will speak, and we'll have to vote on that to give him permission to use the building.
Quick question, really, nothing really about that, but about that. Obviously we can hear each other clearly now, but if we were in the big pavilion, do we have a sound system that would accommodate someone speaking from the front that would
Yes.
reach the back? So that was included?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay.
A nice sound system, very nice. And we're getting tweaks out of it as we speak.
Bingo, all right.
Next on the agenda, I wanted to bring up the PACE bus contract. We do this every year. It's our our dial-a-ride service that we do with, I believe there's 5 townships that do this together. Don't ask me what town I know. It's Joliet, Plainfield, Troy, us, Homer. Yeah, I believe there's 1 or 2 more, but it's the dial-ride system that we have had a contract with them for years, and we renew it every year. So we just want to bring you up to date that we have to pass this.
How much is that gonna be? Do we know offhand? I mean, what every year?
Let me grab the actual contract.
Well, the lady came out and gave us a presentation on it just about a couple of months ago in the summertime, right? You remember that when we went down to the van?
That's our bus.
That's our senior bus.
That's our
Okay.
senior bus.
That's why I was.
This is the meals that are, dial-a-ride service that this takes care of the handicapped students and people that are going from different, that our senior bus can't take, because the senior bus is for seniors. This is for the handicapped.
Is that what it is? Handicap?
Yeah. And I'd have to ask Sherry, I can't be honest with you, but it costs us money, but we get reimbursed probably about 90% of it. So it doesn't really come out costing us much.
Through like the state or something?
Through PACE.
Oh, it's a base.
PACE.
I mean,
I'd have
does
to
she
ask
have,
Sherry
like, the
how that
numbers?
works all the time. It's kind of confusing.
I'm just wondering, how much we throw in.
Yeah. Right
Compared to
now,
how
on this
many-
contract, it says, and I know we don't pay $600,000, but at $672,425. But that must be the actual cost for all the townships.
Okay.
And then we get reimbursed for the riderships.
Right,
So
I'm just
that's
saying,
a-
do they
that
work
costs
it out
us
like,
much.
you know, I would think, you know, obviously Joliet would have more riders than
Right,
Lockport Township,
yeah.
so they've got to pay a higher share.
Higher share of it.
Do they-
Well, we've been doing this, and I've had contact with all the other township supervisors, asking me, are we planning on passing it? Because they're not gonna pass it unless we pass it, and I'm not gonna pass it unless they're passing it. And they're all saying, yes, they're gonna pass it, so.
I mean, does Pace ever give us, like, results, like, for the month, like how many riders we had, or anything
This
like that?
dial-a-ride,
Yeah,
no, the problem with this dial-a-ride, I'll be honest with you, is it's a, how do I say this? You have to call in advance, and you have to, like a lot of our dial-a-ride customers are at the, down in Fairmont, they're at the village, that, not Salem Village, the, what's that school down there for the handicapped? I can't think of the name of it.
Trinity.
Trinity.
Yeah.
Trinity Services.
Right.
Because they bring people there every day, the handicapped people.
Mhm.
So if we have another citizen that wants to call, they're booked. They're booked all the time. We can't hardly get any new people in. But it is a very, very valued service for all these.
It'd be interesting to see how many rides they're offering for the amount of money that we're paying.
Oh, that's it.
To see if it's like $200 a ride. I mean, I don't know what it is, but
Right.
you know, you almost might incorporate that into the senior bus somehow, I don't know.
If it's just covering Trinity, you think they would have their own?
Well, I think it's community-wide offer,
It's community-wide.
but what I think Rob's saying is Trinity will
Yeah, in our
schedule a bunch of
area,
appointments so nobody else can get on,
Yeah.
which is fine, I mean, it's a great service, but I would just wonder what the cost per rider is.
I would have to ask Sherry, I couldn't
Yeah.
give you that information offhand.
And I mean, those people going to Trinity might be coming from out of the township, you know,
Right.
from Joliet.
Right.
So
And
that
Pace-
doesn't mean,
Pace does say we
Pays for that,
cannot
you know.
discriminate against people
no, I know.
from where they're coming.
Well, I'm just saying that, you know, like I said, I just wonder how many actually Lockport Township residents are we accounting?
I would have to ask Sherry to give me that information. I think she does get reports from them. Or if I can, I could call Beth from Pace. and get that
Obviously, I
information.
didn't know if anybody else, you know.
Is the reimbursement
Interested in-
based on countywide, or is it
I
based
believe-
on
No, I think it's raised,
There's not so many
Riders.
riders you had.
in your township or throughout the county?
in the town.
So if we don't have many, we're not getting the reimbursement.
Believe that. Don't quote me on that.
That's
I
fine,
have to
okay, I'm
find
just trying to get
out.
on that, and that's how we, yeah.
This is a service that we've been doing for year after year after year, and I haven't really invested in it a lot because it's been working. And, you know, if it's working, don't break it.
Ronnie, do you have off the top of your head what we pay on an annual basis with it?
For dial-a-ride, no, not on this.
That's,
It's
that's,
not on this contract
no, I mean,
for us.
from past items.
I would have to look at our line items,
No,
to be honest with you. But anyway, every other township is passing that this month. I think we should probably go ahead and do it too, since, you know, we stop our services for the handicap. Next is I wanted to bring up the Gallagher contract. This job has been done. And I talked to everybody individually on this contract. Everybody was in agreement to get this done, so I went ahead and did it, but we will have to pass it at the next meeting to pay the bill. The other thing is basically the same thing let me see something here. Well, you don't even have it. The next one you guys have is this Trovar service commitment. This is snow plowing for our new building. I called 8 different snow plowing, or I asked for bids from 8 different companies. I got one back. This is the one. And I didn't want to do this one at first. The way I understood it, says 1 to 2 inches of plowing is $140. And if you look up there, plowing per push. And that threw me. I'm like, what do you mean by per push? Every time you push, it's $140? Well, I cleared it up. No, a push is the whole parking lot clean. So it turned out to be what I thought was gonna be really expensive, down to $140 for cleaning, and that's not bad. Let me look at something really here, but I think I said it over here. And as you can see, as more snow, it gets more expensive, obviously.
Did they do it the other day?
No, they did not. I did ask John to come by, and he did come by and clean our parking lots for us this last time, but he's indicated to me that he doesn't know if he can do that at every snowfall because of his manpower, and he'd be able to do that, so we have to have our driveways clear.
My concern is the liability. If we're doing the roads first and we can't get to the, let's say we don't get to the parking lot till noon, but you've got a bunch of seniors going in there, and I can't get to it, then, you know, there's liability on you guys if somebody falls.
Makes sense.
Okay, 1 to 2 inches to plow the driveway is $140. To shovel the walks is an extra $73. To salt, this is something, you don't have that. This is just, talk to her, the secretary talked to her. To salt the lots, another $148, and the sidewalks is $86.81. So it comes down to a total of $447 to have everything done. My thought is, we have maintenance men there, they can shovel the driveways, or the sidewalks, so I'm not gonna do that. As far as the salting, if you guys feel comfortable with this, and give me the okay, I'll go talk to them tomorrow. I will do the salting. I won't have it as a definite every time. If it needs salting, if there's ice on it and needs to be salted, I'll do it. If it's just a snowfall like it was the other day and everything melted, I don't think I need ice, just push that snow off.
Salt.
What did I say, ice?
Yeah, you said salt.
Salt,
Nice.
yeah. We don't need the salt, I don't want to have to pay for it every time.
On the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
The salt-
And as for sidewalk salt, we'll do that ourselves. All the sidewalks, we'll take care of that ourselves.
Sure.
That's why we'll have maintenance men down there.
Something the board may want to consider in the future is see how much it costs this year, maybe next year. It might be cheaper just to buy a truck with a plow
Right, no, I agree.
and let our
with you.
maintenance guys do it.
I agree with you 100%, but, you know.
We don't know the
Yeah,
future.
Yeah, we don't know the future. We have to do it now. It's supposed to
I
snow-
understand, I understand.
You know,
tomorrow.
and I can tell you because I pay a plowing bill at our building. And 1 year, you're like, what am I doing? And then the next year, you're like, hallelujah. So
Yeah.
I know you feel the expense too over
Life's,
there.
yeah, life's a crapshoot with snow, you don't know.
Yes, but a maintenance truck with a plow on it that you might need anyway to move materials around or,
No, actually, I got that, I was thinking about that, but that's, you know. in the
but not right
future.
now, but yeah, what I'm saying in the
Right.
future.
I don't know if there's a plow with that truck or not, but
Buy some.
maybe extra plow.
John indicated that he might have a truck we could park there. But
Like,
we'll-
go to Larry's and,
let's get through this winter.
Right.
I'm
We
pretty
understand.
If somebody don't make
We
a
understand.
decision.
So is everybody okay with this? I'll talk to the guy tomorrow, see if I can work this out, and then we'll approve it on Monday, but I would like to get it, you know, if it snows as much as they're saying Sunday night, I want to tell them to go ahead and do this lot for us. For $140.
You know, just kind of understanding, just a crazy thought. We enter into that, we say $140 a push. Obviously, you can prove that. What if, and I'm just saying, what if it went over, and it won't, what if it went over something like that where you're based on each time of the service, it went over 20 grand? Would you have to put something like that out for bid? I mean, bigger lots could reach that easily. Now,
Yeah.
ours ain't that big, that ain't so bad, but how would that work? Is that
No.
weird? I
I
mean,
think so. Because you don't know.
No, because you get invoiced individually. If you were gonna have a contract and say, we're gonna charge you $21,000 a year regardless of the snow, if it doesn't snow, I make out, if it snows a lot, I lose, then you'd have to go out for bid. But I think, and I'm not, I would definitely ask,
The attorney, but I did go
Yeah.
to a thing down, where it was, I believe, down in TOI, that basically said that, and no, that's in the web seminar that I took, basically said that if you know it's gonna cost $20,000 or $30,000 to clear a lot for the winter, and you do it individually to beat the system, you're breaking the law.
See, we don't know
Yeah,
that.
Well, we don't know that. We're not planning on it being over 20,000. We don't, I'm planning on it being $5,000, you know.
That's piecework, Dan.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, you
No, I
can't break
understood
up,
that.
you can't break up a contract, like if I'm gonna build a building and say, okay, I wanna pay you for this room,
Sections.
and then I'll pay you for this room. And, you know,
That would be illegal.
that's bid rigging, and that's, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go talk to the guy tomorrow and see if he will, you know, and it's for a 1 year, I'm gonna go with the 1 year contract just this season. I'm not gonna, things will change maybe next year. And it already says 3% increase next year. But I'm gonna go talk to the guy and see about if I could talk him into that, not salting the lot every time.
Well, within question too, we're supposed to get a pretty heavy snowfall this weekend.
This weekend, that's what I mean. That's
Is he
what I'm gonna put up.
available or?
Well, yeah, I think he would. He was calling us this last weekend, because I got the bid a while back. He said, "You guys need me to do it?" I said, "No." I got to talk to him.
Just we fire, it's supposed to snow again.
The only last thing I wanted to bring up was the Casa bus, the Casa Christmas Express that we did last weekend with the buses. That's another one of those issues that I talked to everybody about, discussed it, everybody was in agreement, but we should pass it at the board meeting. It turned out to be very successful, I guess, that, especially Sunday, when it was snowing so bad, they used our bus pretty regularly. Casa's a very good program. I think we have a member that if he wants to speak on it, he can, but I know you're a part of that, and I think it's a good thing that we do that.
Yeah, it definitely is worthwhile.
So I'm proud of being able to do this for them. So, other than that, that's what we're gonna try to get past at the meeting on Monday, so everybody knows what it is. I think everybody has a copy of all the information. If you have any questions between now and then, don't hesitate to call me. I'll try to get them answered. I will try to talk to Sherry tomorrow about how that dial-a-ride system, the reimbursement, I know she always said it doesn't cost us anything. We always get reimbursed.
It's good, yeah.
It's either a federal or state program.
I'm thinking it's better.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
It's for handicapped people, so.
all right, does anybody else have anything they'd like to bring up tonight before we should close this workshop? Hearing none, guys, I think it's coming out on a windy cold night like this, so I motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Motion by-
I'm second. I'll second.
By John Badisich and seconded by Mike Lewandowski. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, guys.